Hi, these comments are for JM, and I am Michael from OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com. And you're taking advantage of my free TOEFL speaking evaluation service. So let's get right down to it. So in this case, you're doing an independent speaking practice test. You want to get a general idea of what your estimated score is between 0 and 30 points. Here is your speaking practice test. Wow. Okay, let's get started here. I'm going to listen to the whole thing one time without making any comments at all. The second time, I'm going to give you my first impressions along with what I think your estimated score is and why.
Well, I definitely prefer to study by myself because studying with a group can be very distracting. For instance, I particularly remember many years ago when I was in college, and in my first semester I used to have a large group of friends to study math and social studies. And guess what? Because I couldn't concentrate, I got a really bad grade in both subjects. And I lost my scholarships, and my parents got really mad at me. So, yeah, that's the way I feel.
Okay, I think
Well,
I think you're moving in the right direction here. I think this is a good practice test that you completed here. So I think for sure, if I look over at the rubrics, yeah, I think you're at least at the 3 area, maybe a little higher than that even. I think maybe delivery, you can make some improvements. You're speaking a little bit slowly. You have maybe some unnecessary pauses in there, which gives you some problems with what the TOEFL says pacing. I think you have some problems with your tone and also pacing. But the organization, I think, is pretty
definitely
good.
prefer to study by myself because studying with a group can be very distracting.
And I think that's it. And then you have that one example in there that illustrates this point. So you have some progression of ideas and some good depth, I think, to your
For
speaking.
instance, I particularly remember many years ago when I was in college, and in my first semester, I used to have a large group of friends to study math and social studies.
Good. I like how you talk about just those two things. You could just talk about math if you wanted to be honest, and just focus on that one area, but still you're pretty specifically focused around 2 courses. So that's a good strategy. You're trying to use specificity or specific details in there.
And guess what?
And I would say, and guess what? And guess what? So I would kind of make that guess what? That's a rhetorical kind of attention getter you're using there to help keep your audience interested in your idea. So you need to vary your tone more and make that more of a focus word.
Because I couldn't concentrate, I got a really bad grade in both subjects.
Now, what I would say is not because I couldn't concentrate, I would say, and because I was distracted, I could not concentrate. So I would use the word distracted in there to help tie that back to what you said in the beginning. That's going to give you a little bit better connection of ideas there.
And I lost my scholarships.
Maybe say therefore or as a result I lost, maybe instead of and. Use a cause effect type connector in there.
And my parents got really mad at me. So, yeah, that's the way I feel.
Okay, what do we have here? This is a close one. I think that you are really close to getting to 26. I'm going to put you at 24 to 26 points out of 30 on this. I think it's a great response. I think that some delivery issues, if I gave you one thing I'd like you to study, I would say both. You need to study intonation and you also need to study thought groups and blending, which helps you with your pacing. I think that would be good. And I think that's probably the 2 main areas in your delivery that you need to work on. I think everything else is pretty good. I didn't notice any major grammatical problems. You seem to have pretty good control over how you structure and organize your ideas. All right, so good job. Now remember, if you want more feedback, you can only do one speaking practice test for free. If you want to get on track to getting over 26, I'd love to have you as one of my students because I think that you can get close to 30, maybe after about 4 weeks of practice. You can get between 29 and 30. Why not, right? I think you can do this. So if you're interested, you can go over to onlinetoeflcourse.com, check out the TOEFL Speaking Boot Camp course. You can send me speaking practice from anywhere on the internet. That means TPO included. And I will score, give you some feedback, and that's kind of what I will do. I'll recommend usually specific lessons that I think you can focus on to improve your speaking fluency. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you as a student. If not, good luck to you. Let me know how you do either way, right? Once you take the TOEFL exam, tell me how you did with your overall score and also with your speaking, and then remind me that I gave you some free speaking feedback, on March 2nd. All right, thank you.